Hey, all you Buffs fans. Wow. It's Wednesday night. How did it get to be Wednesday night, the 28th, so fast? I can't even keep up with it at this point. It doesn't feel like the season is starting to me. Like it feels like we still have a month out for some reason, and I don't know why. I don't know why it seems to have snuck up on me. But we talked about in the last couple of days, we talked about as a group. I'm going to kind of stall a little bit while people get in the chat, but we talked about the crowdsourcing of information and how we were going to, as a group, tackle NDSU, which is people consider this to be a trap game, and some people consider this to be an easy game. I am one of those that I feel extremely confident. I think those of you who view this see that I think that this is going to. I'm not going to say it's going to be an easy game. It's definitely going to be a test of what we can do. But in the end, I think that we're going to gather ourselves by halftime, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be on in the second half. I have been notable about saying that I believe this is a 52-17 game. I have thought about that for now. I think I predicted that now a little over 2 weeks ago, or maybe right at 2 weeks ago. And I've thought about it, trying to figure out whether or not I was going to edit that, because obviously, when you put things on YouTube or you put things in Twitter, people remember this. And a lot of times it's the folks that you don't want to remember that remember this. And I feel extremely confident in 52-17. Here's the reason why. I think that by halftime, it's going to be a close game. I think that we're going to be figuring them out. They're going to be figuring us out. And at the end of the first quarter, we could be within a touchdown of one another. But I think in the second half, I think we're going to start to pull away. And I think the reason is because I think we're going to try, and I hope. And you know what? Let's start from scratch here. So let's put up some comments here. So TJ's in the chat. He says, "Where are you tailgating tomorrow?" I'm going to be tailgating all over. So I don't. I was going to set up a tailgate last year, since I started this channel, set up my own tailgate. But I enjoy walking around campus, and I'll visit probably 30 tailgates tomorrow. And I'll jump into each one, maybe play some table tennis, do some cornhole, and eat a lot of food. I'll probably consume quite a bit of beverages out there as well, and just have a good time. And that's what I like to do. I don't really want to be in one spot. I kind of want to see the whole campus. So I'll even walk around campus, and I'll just talk to students just randomly, just to figure out kind of what they're feeling, how they're feeling the game. Then I'll pull after I'm out there and I enjoy myself. Because remember, this channel, if you guys aren't familiar with this channel, I'm a fan first. I'm not a media guy. I don't have a degree in journalism. I'm not even accredited. All I do is I go to these games as a fan, and I wanted to show you these games as a fan would see these games. So I'm not on the field. I don't get in the locker room. I don't do a lot of interviews with players. But if you were in Colorado, if you live in Colorado and you go to these games and you visit these tailgates and you go and you sit in the stands, I bring you that from this channel. And do I want to expand it? Absolutely, I do. I want to expand it, but it's not my main priority right now. I have a more than full-time job right now, that in a career that I love. I do something that a lot of people envy, and envy is probably the wrong word, but it's an enjoyable career. I'll say that. And I get to work in what one of my passions is. So at this point, the CU channel is just about having fun with CU. I've been a Colorado Buff fan since 1978. I grew up with the Buffs. I got my national championship shirt on right here. I don't wear this very often because I'm afraid to wash it, honestly. But I had to wear it tonight because I'm feeling it this year. This year is the year. I didn't even wear it. I wore it 0 times last year, and I think that it may have affected this team. So I'm going to wear it more this year, just not a lot this year. But anyway, this year, this season is special. I'm just going to say it's special. Let's see. Shaquille Oatmeal says, highly surprised the game isn't sold out. As a local, do you know why? You know, this is funny because I was going to actually do a video on this. Can you guys hear me okay? Somebody give me a thumbs up and let me know that you guys are hearing me okay. I got the mic way away from me today. But at this point, I don't know why. I honestly thought this would sell out. So if you want my honest opinion, the game tickets are too high. I'm just going to say it right now. Guys, $100 for a ticket against an FCS team, regardless of who is the coach, is too much. Keep in mind that several years ago, and I say several, a few years ago, tickets were, 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks. And depended, when you got closer to game time, you got them really cheap. Of course, we sucked and nobody wanted to be in the stadium outside of the people that are diehard CU fans because they didn't want to be humiliated at home in Folsom. But that's the reason why. So when you raise the ticket prices, 3 to 4 times the ticket price normally, and it's not against Nebraska or one of our Big 12 opponents, I think that may be the reason why. Now, I could be wrong. Obviously, I'm not an expert in this, and I don't have any insight into the ticketing at CU. But talking with some fellow CU Buff fans, and a lot of them that I know that aren't going to this game, they're going to watch it on ESPN, which is another thing too, is if you can sit in the comfort of your own home with your bar, with a bunch of friends there and watch it on ESPN and not have to pay, $100 to $130 a ticket to go to Folsom when there isn't a whole lot going on at the stadium like there was last year, then maybe that's the reason why. So, but 2,500 tickets short is what I saw. That's virtually sold out. I mean, you're talking at this point, 50,000 seats were sold because the stadium holds about 53,000. So when you're talking a 53,000 seat sold stadium, we weren't filling half of that 2 years ago. So when you're talking about selling out, it doesn't have to sell out. This is big enough. I'll honestly say it's big enough. And there's probably going to be a lot of last minute tickets. One of the things that I noticed about CU this year, or I say this year, this is the first game. I normally get emails from CU, and all of us do that are on CU's mailing list that give us kind of timelines for things in the game. I may have missed it, but I checked about 5 times on about 3 different email, and I did not find a lot of details about tomorrow's game. So I think there's a lot of things up there. And what I'm going to do is we're going to break down what you guys said about what we should do offensively, then what we should do defensively. And then I'm going to kind of tell you what I'm going to be doing tomorrow in case you wanted to follow any of it. But I'm going to be going live probably at least 3 to 5 times tomorrow at different points, pre-game, during game, and post-game, so that you can follow anything that you want to follow if that's what you want to do. But we'll go through that, what I'm going to do tomorrow at the end here. But that's the reason why I think it isn't sold out. So I appreciate you with that comment. Let's see who else is in here right now. Section 214 season ticket holder. I'm section 219 season ticket holder. So Uncle Buck, maybe I'll run into you tomorrow. If you see me, I won't be wearing my natty shirt. I'll be wearing my black because I'm in a black section, by the way. If you're not in the stripe out, you have to be striped out tomorrow. So either you're in a black or you're in a white section. Wear white, wear black. I'm not going to post it here, but if you go and look, you'll be able to figure out what section you're in. Let's see. We got TJ's in section 102, row 4. That's a great seat, man. Nice job on that. Kevin says, love your channel, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I do this again, not for any other reason than I love it. If you guys are wanting to know what kind of YouTube revenue I make, I will say this, that if I were to put in the amount of hours I worked on this channel versus the amount of money I made, it'd be probably less than $4 an hour. Maybe probably less than $1 an hour, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But it doesn't matter. That's not what this is about. So thank you very much for that. Oh, yeah, TJ even put it up there. Remember, white and black stripe out your section. So, yeah, don't be that fan that goes into the stadium tomorrow wearing the opposite color in your area. Know before you go. Tomorrow I'll be posting a video. I'm assuming Colorado is going to come out with some more information about the festivities that are going to be going on tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be the normal stuff. So if you guys haven't seen my videos from last year, I'm going to give you like a 3-minute update real quick. When you get to campus and you pull in on Colorado, which is the main drag that goes through Colorado, the University of Colorado there, you have several lots off to your left that you can turn in and you can pay to park. There's actually a big parking garage there. I think it's 436 that you can park in. And you don't have to prepay or you don't have to have a parking pass. You can literally just pull in and park, and it's huge. You will have no problem parking there if you get there within a couple of hours of the game. But then if you continue left as you come in on Colorado, you're going to see multiple parking areas. You won't have a problem parking, I don't think, on this game. So that's great. And then as you're on there, there'll be different festivities throughout. So Franklin Field is the practice field that you see in a lot of the well-off media videos. That is directly to the east of the stadium. And they usually open Franklin Field to tailgating. And that tailgating is like prepaid premium tailgating. So you know you're going to be there. You buy it in advance. You pay a lot of money. They basically furnish everything but the alcohol. And then you go and you set it up. And we will be there because a lot of our friends that are there, Bus for Life and a bunch of other programs are out there that have their own tailgates, and we'll be in Franklin Field. We usually bring a football and we throw the football around on the field as a family. That's a tradition. You'll see, in my past videos and maybe on this one, you'll see, probably 30 to 40 people out there just passing footballs on Franklin, just because it's kind of a pastime. It's a lot of fun. And then during that evening before the game, and the game starts at 6, they haven't announced it yet, but I'm assuming probably about between 4 and 4:30 will be the Buff Walk. And the Buff Walk is when the buses pull up to Franklin Field, the CU players get off the bus and they walk through Franklin Field into the IPF where they change and go into, their practice facility and stuff like that. And we always cover that. And it's always some of my biggest videos. So I'm going to be bringing that to you as well tomorrow. And that's going to be roughly between 4 and 4:30 Mountain Standard Time. So, figure out where you're at time zone wise and you can cover that. But I will definitely be there for that. And then we will probably hit some more tailgates and do some lives from there. We'll go into the stadium a little bit early and do a pregame. And then we'll probably do one at halftime and then maybe one at the end of the game right up against Folsom and until they kick us out. So that's my plan for tomorrow anyway. So let's look at a few more comments, and then we'll talk about what you guys said we should do tomorrow as a game plan. Let's see. Yeah, don't wear the wrong color tomorrow. Unveiling says 130 is a ripoff. So I don't know if it's a ripoff, considering last year a lot of people paid $500 a ticket for the Nebraska game, and most of the games were about 200, which is pretty high. But considering this, if you were to come to the game, if you were smart enough to come to the game early, you came and you were at ESPN Game Day and you were there for the show, or you were at Fox Noon, Big Noon Kickoff, and you were there for that festivity. Now, I'm saying this, now there's, I don't know how many people there is in the chat right now or how many people are viewing right now, because honestly, I'm a little, I worked all day today. We got 66 people in here, but I was at every ESPN and Big Noon Kickoff hours before anybody else was. I was there at 2 a.m. almost every day, and I watched them set up. I talked to all the staffers. I got really good video because they, nobody else was there, so they let me in to just kind of shoot some background video and stuff like that. And I'm going to produce a video that's going to come out next week called ESPN versus Fox. And basically, it is kind of a review of all of last year's festivities. All of the pregame shows that we went to, I must have gone to 6 to 8 of them yet last year, which was the first time I've ever done that in my history at CU. So it was a lot of fun. But the reason why I say that is last year, you paid $200 a ticket, let's say, but you got involved in all that other stuff. And quite honestly, it was like going to a concert, only better, because you're a fan of the team and there's so much going on, and you got connected to the players pretty easily. And with all the other Big Noon Kickoff and ESPN, all those celebrities there and the hype around that, it was an intense environment. And honestly, I don't know that I will have another year in college football like I did last year. And at 52 years old, I'm glad I did it now, because it was just an incredible year. I'm going to get emotional if I keep talking about this, but for a 40 plus year CU fan, this last couple of years has been a ride like no other ride has been. And I honestly never expected it and never thought anything would change. I thought we might be good occasionally like we were in 2016, but I never thought it would be this big from the standpoint of how much fun it is to be a CU fan and how much fun it is to be on campus. So I'm just going to say that. So it was 130 ripoff. It could be, but I mean, this is the prime show. You're getting a lot for 130 bucks. Let's see. I feel like celebs will show up later. I agree. I didn't hear a lot about who's coming this time. I know there's a lot of sports celebrities that are going to be there, but I didn't hear about, musicians and stuff like that this time. Thank you. I make these hats actually. Unveiling said, I love the hat. I make these hats. I don't sell them. I make probably 15 to 20 a year so that I have, something to wear. But I never fell in love with a lot of CU hats, and I wanted something that had a big badge on it. So I bought the hat through a company that I buy these hats through. I have another channel called Alpine Garage. It's just Alpine Garage, and I actually restore. I'm looking at it right now. I've got a 1973 Bronco, a 1974 Bronco, and a 1983 Grand Wagoneer that I'm restoring right now. And then out front, I've got about 12 motorcycles that I'm restoring as well. So that's one of my channels. And then this CU channel is another one, just because I love CU and I love cars. And that's where the Alpine Garage Sports came from, is that I'm in my garage and I've got all these fun cars. But that's why I do this hat, just because I couldn't find anything I like, so I made it myself. Dante S says, I do enjoy your videos. James Bond. I want to tell you guys something about James Bond. He is my brother. He was one of the first guys on this channel that really supported me when there wasn't a whole lot going on in this channel. And, it's just, James, I just want to say that I know your name isn't James Bond. We know your real name, and I know you're a big deal. And I appreciate you supporting me so much. Thank you very much. It means a lot to me. There's going to be a lot of people from out of state that doesn't know or care about the color scene. Hopefully it works out. True. I don't think anybody's going to judge anybody there, but hopefully we can get this right. Can't wait to see D-Line play tomorrow. Believe that D-Line will unleash who they want this world to see them as. They will set the tone and raise the bar. So that's part of what we're going to talk about here in just a minute. I keep delaying it, but I'm not going to delay it much longer. Uncle Buck says, you speak the truth. Thank you, Uncle Buck. B. Wilk, another OG subscriber to this channel. I don't have tickets, but I'm coming up for the day just to take in some tailgates and enjoy the atmosphere. I'm telling you, B. Wilk, you can probably pick up tickets late tomorrow, right before the game, for pretty cheap right now. I honestly think you're going to find them cheap. Just because, like I said before, the stadium it's not sold out, but it might as well be sold out. 2,500 tickets isn't that many to sell. I think we're going to get there. RJ says, let's go. I'll be watching from here in Alabama. Good for you. I'm going to be coming to Birmingham. Is it Birmingham that has the motorcycle museum in it? It's like a 12-story motorcycle museum. My wife and I are going to fly out there and we're going to go see that because we are motorcycle buffs. Um, is Travis Hunter going to get 100 yards receiving? Um, I don't know, chat. What do you think of that? What do you think of 100 yards receiving for Travis Hunter? Put that down in the comments. All right. So let's get down to what you say. So right now we've got about 73 people in the live chat. I appreciate that very much, guys. Thank you for your support. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, and I imagine almost all of you have, we appreciate everything that you do for us. I'm going to say this, that my intention for this channel was never to be, 100,000 subscribers. I don't put enough work in to do that, by the way, obviously. I like the intimate interactions because my goal is that I can reply to every single comment made on every single video. And if I was at 100,000 subscribers, I wouldn't be able to do that and it wouldn't be any fun. I love talking with you guys. So let's talk about the offense. I've got my notes here that I used in the last video. RJ says, I'm sorry, I saw this out of the corner of my eye here. I wanted to see that. Came in a bit late. Will you live stream from the ground stock glasses? Yes. So I got a new mic. So last year, those of you who followed me knew that it was insane because it was so loud you couldn't hear me. This year, you're going to be able to hear me. So I've got a mic. I've got a lapel mic that goes with my phone. And it's going to be way better this year. And yes, I'm going to bring you my view from the seats. I got to be careful about what I broadcast because ESPN has rights to the game. So I'm not going to be showing you a lot of the game. But before the game, after the game, at halftime, during key moments in the game, I'm just going to go live. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to do it. And anybody that wants to watch can watch. And if you want to watch it later, you can definitely do that. But yes, I love going live. It's a lot of fun. I take all the camera gear that I could sneak into Folsom because they're very particular about what you sneak into Folsom. Do you think Travis is going to go? But I do think Travis is going to go bananas. I think I didn't talk about wide receivers in my last two videos, the offense and the defense videos for NDSU. And the reason why is because I have so much confidence in our receivers and so much confidence in Shedeur that it's almost like I don't even need to talk about it anymore. And I don't think we need to talk about it as a group because Shedeur is going to get the yards that he needs to stay extremely relevant in the Heisman race. He's going to look really good doing it. The receivers are all going to just look like studs. Travis is going to get a ton of catches. Alpine Huskies asked, is he going to get 100 yards? I think he'll get 100 yards. I think he will. I think they're going to really put Travis in the spotlight for the NDSU game because they can. It's the first game. He's fresh. He hasn't been practicing in every single open. Like he didn't practice in the open practice. Obviously, in the main practices, he's been getting his reps, but they're saving him because he is the best athlete in college football. He doesn't need all those extra reps. We don't need to have him accidentally injured and maybe even missing games this year like he did last year. And that was an accidental, by the way. The one last year was intentional. But in any case, I appreciate that comment. He is going to go bananas. 7 receptions for 109 yards. First named after one says that's pretty awesome, man. What is a trap game? So ML says, what's a trap game? Some people say that this is a trap game, meaning that we're getting overconfident in the game and that the other team is preparing basically for our demise. And we're looking forward to Nebraska and we're forgetting that this game could be a potential issue. I think that it is not possible that that's going to happen with all the scrutiny that's been put on it, NDSU being a FBS killer, even though they haven't really won in the FBS since I think it was 2016 that I read. They have the potential to really take down teams that are overconfident. And Colorado, I'm not going to be shy about it. I'm not such a fanboy that I'm not going to call out our weakness. And our weakness is that we have a lot of new players on our team, and a lot of the coaches are brand new. In fact, our offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. I mean, you name all the coaches that are new this year, guys. We have a lot to prove in this game that we can pull together the continuity that we need as a team with all of the new staff and all of the new players that we have going against a FCS team that is a considerable FBS killer in the past. So, is it a trap game? I don't think it is. I think we got this. I think we've done enough research. I think we have enough skilled people in our coaching ranks. And I think our players know what they're doing. And I think we're going to rout them 52-17. Said it over and over again. I've thought about it. I've dreamt about it. I've been scrutinized in the comments. I've been scrutinized by my buddies. And I'm sticking with 52-17. It feels right. It feels good. If you want to roast me tomorrow, I will be around. Hit that thumbs up. Thank you very much there, James. Let's see. Can't wait to see the second string play after they go up 4 TDs. They will. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to play in this game, folks. We're going to see a lot of people. They let people watch the game from the new scoreboard. Will they let people in to watch the game from the rear scoreboard? I don't know. So that's one of the things I was going to do is in the middle of the game, I was going to walk out. If you go underneath the stadium or go through the stadium to the back, this is where the beer is sold, guys. So it's not like I don't visit that place often. You can see the scoreboard from back there, and I will get some live video for you tomorrow during the game outside the stadium, but inside security, so that you can see what they're showing on that scoreboard. All right, Dennis, I promise you that. I will do that. I will make a note to do that right now, to go out there and take care of that. So I got that for you. So I'm going to get to some more of your comments here in just a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Dang it. Dang. Someone just said something about Charlie. You guys know I'm a sucker for that. Charlie gets over 80. Wow. So you guys know that Charlie is slated to start tomorrow. We said this, I think it was at the beginning of camp. If it wasn't at the beginning of camp, it was the first week of camp that we believed I keep saying we, it's me, that I believe that Charlie is going to start this first game. He may not get all the carries. He's not going to get all the carries. He may not be the most prolific back that we have in this game, but he is definitely going to start. And when he does, you're going to see, I think everybody in the stands is going to be cheering, but you're going to see one guy in the stands that's going to be doing backflips. And I have not done one backflip in my life, but I will be doing a backflip tomorrow when Charlie gets that first handoff. And it goes back to the 2022 season before Prime ever came. And the fact that we saw him in the spring game, and I was really looking forward to him carrying a lot. He didn't that year. He ended up setting a freshman rushing record, or I should say a walk-on rushing record of 150 yards. And he played significantly in one game, which was a Minnesota game. But we didn't really see him a lot. The rest of the year he played here and there. But, we were in such dire straits that year. They were really leaning on our scholarship players to win. And then last year, let's just say we repeated that cycle. He got 2 carries against Nebraska, second game. We didn't run him in the first game because, we had to establish ourselves, which we did handily. Second game, he got us a couple of carries. I thought that we would go forward and see him more, but we started to struggle a little bit. And so again, we leaned on our scholarship players, the ones that we knew could carry us if we could, get a good game plan to go in together, and it just never happened. And so I think at that point, Charlie lost the rest of the year, but I digress. He's going to get the first carry this year. I'm going to be excited. Whatever else happens after that, I'm good. I just want to see Charlie get his due with all the hard work he's put in for this team, and being probably one of the few guys in college football that's left that goes in wanting to play for a university and stays his entire career with that university and balls out. So that's it. I'm not going to say anything more about Charlie in this particular program here. What time are you planning to get there tomorrow? I'm going to be there early. I'm probably going to be there about 10 a.m. And we're going to go eat probably at, where did we say we were going to go eat? We're either going to go to Pasta J's, which is my favorite place in Boulder, or we're going to go to, there's a German restaurant on Pearl Street. And golly, I know the name of this thing, but my wife loves the German food and the German beer there. So we may end up going there as well. We may eat at both places. So probably about 10 o'clock, I'll be there. Let's see. Daryl says potential historical CU season rest on OC Pat Shermer, offensive philosophy and the scheme. Pardon me, for this year's team. You're right. So Pat Shermer last year was not hung on Pat Shermer. He came in late as the co-OC and didn't get to institute his offense. This year is his offense. I trust in him. I trust in him that he knows that if we don't get 150 yards average this year in rushing, people will figure us out. They will expose us and we will struggle. So if we are at 150 yards, meaning that we can significantly run the ball, Shadur will absolutely rain hell on every defense that we're facing. We're a more talented team. 52 to 17 sounds right. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Let's Charlie over 200. Kev, man, you're my man. I don't know who's going to get 200. I think Dallin's going to run it pretty significantly tomorrow as well. But if they were to run Charlie all day tomorrow, maybe he could get to 200 yards. I don't think he's going to do it. But I love you for saying that. I do. All right. So let's look at what you said. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to split my screen here. And we are going to talk about the comments that we had on offense. So we had some pretty good. So we're talking about our offensive strategy, and these are comments because I said we're going to stick to the comments and not listen to me so much. We had a lot of people that said absolutely establish a run and keep future defensive coordinators honest, and I agreed with that. The question actually that who is that? That is, Jack Jackson. I think the reason why that comment came up is because I asked, would we do something differently in the NDSU game than we would do in the other games? As not to kind of tip our hat. We want to establish the run game. I think that's what we need to do. We need to show teams that we can run the ball, because if we don't show that, then it's going to be a problem for us, I think. And so that's the reason why he said establish the run. And a lot of people said that. Yes, establish the run, run the ball with Hayden, Offerdahl, and Welch. I believe, so Jay Boogie said, I believe we have top-notch skill players with fresh legs so you can go down the depth chart. Screens versus pitch options and under center quarterback bootlegs. This is a perfect game to open the floodgates and keep them on their heels. Since head-to-head, I believe CU offense is much better. I put thank you, Jay, on that, because this is really kind of what I was talking about early, which is really just let everything out. There's no reason not to test most of our players if we can get ahead. Okay, not saying that they're a pushover team, but if we can assert our dominance and we can get ahead, is to get everybody that we can in the game so we can get eyeballs on people and get a little better idea of where we're going to go versus Nebraska and CSU, which are, I think, our two biggest tests early. Let's go to pass heavy early. So this is the opposite. So we have a few people, and it's not the majority, a few people that say pass heavy early, run heavy late to control the clock. So those of you who watch this channel know I'm a big proponent of managing the clock. If you can't manage, I said it last year. In fact, I think I screamed and I may have cried on camera a couple of times, because we got to a point where we had the opportunity to settle down, slow down the offense. It was killing me that we wanted to go fast all the time, and that we wanted to just give the ball back to the defense immediately to the opposing offense immediately, and wear the absolute crap out of our defense. I didn't understand that. I hated that. And the fact that we didn't establish the run, and I'm going to say that differently than couldn't establish the run. So light me up in the comments, guys. Light me up. Our offensive line was bad last year, but it wasn't so bad that we could not have established the run at some point. We just decided not to. And the reason why is because we have the best quarterback in college football. And when you get behind or you get stressed, you put it in Shadur's hands and you let Shadur handle it. And Shadur handled it great. The games that we won because of Shadur. And the games that we only lost by a little bit because Shadur kept us in the game. But if we had run the ball a little bit more and slowed down their offense and kept the ball away from them, we could have turned some of those losses into wins. And I think we could have made a bowl game last year. As bad as people said we were on offensive line and parts of our defense, I still think we could have bowl game last year if we had stuck to a plan. R. Matthew says, I cursed my computer and my TV screen last year when we didn't run the football. So I made a comment on that too. We can beat a dead horse. You got to run the ball, guys. I don't care how good your quarterback is. You got to run the ball. There are teams out there that can do it without doing that. And one of them was Washington last year, ending up in the national title game. And they had 118 yards rushing, where everybody per game, where everybody else in the top 10 was greater than 170. I think it was 168. So they had the lowest running totals of any team, and they still made it to the national championship game. And they did it because Michael Penix is an absolute freaking freak. And we have one of those too. But the difference is their defense is way better than ours was. So when you don't have that, stellar defense, you got to be able to slow down. You got to be able to slow down the clock a little bit. Terrell says, we also have to take into account that NDSU played all FBS schools. That's true. Run, then throw the ball long. So suck them in and then hit them deep. Establish the run. So as you can see here, here's another comment that I wanted to bring up. CU needs to utilize the tight end. Dollar Bills, another OG subscriber. The tight end position. I'm going to say it again. In the first 3 games that we won last year, Michael Harrison was a thing. He was not a tight end. He was a receiver made a tight end. He didn't really have any reps at tight end that I know of before the season started last year. But just having that tight end, okay, be it Michael Harrison, just having that tight end made the difference for us in those games. We abandoned that later in the season. And I'm not saying that's why we lost those games, but that's one of the reasons why our offense became one-dimensional. The tight end, to me, is synonymous with the running game. If you can use something other than wide receivers often enough, it confuses the defense. They have to spread out a little bit different, and it makes it way harder. So I'm going to say dollar bills. That may have been the comment of the whole chat there, the whole comment section, because I didn't mention tight end at all. I don't think I did, but I meant to, and I'm glad you picked up on that. So thank you very much. All right, so let's go back to comments here for just a second. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm way behind on comments. I'm a one-man show here. So let me go all the way down to the bottom. Heart is a beast. Yeah, so we're talking about on CF. Okay, yeah, on CF 25. He is. It's a video game. I get it. I hope he's that way in real life. I really want him. I want Sam Hart to be double as good as Michael Harrison was in not only the blocking end of it, keep Shadur on his feet, give him an extra second or two. 2.5 seconds, release the ball. We said it last year. 2.5 seconds, release the ball. 2.5 seconds, release the ball. You got to release the ball or you got to run, but you can't stand in the pocket. That tight end's going to make that difference. And I think Sam Hart's that guy. Sam Hart gets a touchdown. I think so too. I think they're gonna spread the offense out a little bit. Um, 80 for Charlie, 125 rushing for Dallin, and we have a fabulous freshman in Welch and Hood. So yeah, guys, that's over 200 yards rushing if that's what you're talking about. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it could. I'd love it if it did. Then that would be great. If people are worried about the team, then the rest of the schedule is going to make you cry. We got to get past the first game, though, guys. Yeah, we're not looking past NDSU and looking at Nebraska right now because if we lose to NDSU, the whole season is going to be much harder. And going into Nebraska with both Nebraska and us undefeated is the way to go. We don't want Nebraska to lose, in my opinion, and that may be sacrilege to say. I want to face Nebraska undefeated. If people are worried about this team, I already talked about that one. Let's see. Prime and the coaches got them ready. I think so too. Dante S says, truly hope we don't go 4 wide all game. Yeah, I'm there too, man. I think we need to go. We need to have a tight end in the game most of the game. I'm not a 4 wide fan unless it's, 3rd and 8 or something like that. But we'll see. Brian C says, often ball. Yes. Yes. Let's go see you. Can't wait. See you to run for 200 plus yards to show that they are real. Go Charlie from a former track walk on. Nice job. Tony, nice job. Yes. So if CU goes, not Charlie, but if CU goes for 200 rushing yards, I think it's going to quiet every single comment that we have, which is almost every comment that we need to establish a run game. That's going to quiet it down, and it's going to quiet me down. I'm going to be just ecstatic if we get it 200 yards. I said, was it the DNVR podcast or somewhere? I was predicting 150 yards rushing and 400 yards for Shedeur. So we're talking 550 yards total for CU, which is a stretch against a pretty good team. But they don't have a very good defense. So I think we could put 550 on them. And I think that's how it would break down is 150, 400. Shedeur wants to throw. Shedeur is a quarterback. Shedeur wants to throw. And we have great receivers, and we want to test them in an environment. So we are going to throw the ball tomorrow. I just hope we can at least get 150 yards. Dante S says, I'm not that confident about Charlie. We just have too many bigger, more talented backs. All right. So Dante S, thank you for taking the lid off of this can. It's in every chat everywhere. There's 2 camps. It's I'm not going to say, yeah, I am going to say it. So there's 2 camps. There's the Charlie camp and the everybody else camp. Start roasting now if you want to. So the dissent on Charlie, I know, is not because people don't like Charlie. I don't think anyone is a Charlie hater. If you hate Charlie, then you are literally the devil, because if our coach, who we all love, says that he is the man, if the running back coach says he is the man, if the rest of his team says he is the man, if the reverence of the, I'm going to call them original Buff fans, say that he's the man, then he's the man. That doesn't mean he's the best running back we have. I said it in my running back. I had a running back room video about a month ago. I didn't call Charlie the best running back we have. I would say that to Charlie's face. We have a lot of talented running backs. Charlie is very good, and Charlie gets what he does on the playing field, not only because he's talented, but because he wants it. He tries. He owns this. He's not selfish in any way. He will block all day long if we ask him to block. He will run all day long if we ask him to run. But the reason why everybody loves him, and let's start with Coach Prime, is because he is selfless to the team. And when you're like that, everybody wants to pull for you. And in this game, I'm not looking for Charlie to have the number one rushing yards. I just want Charlie to be the first back out of the gate and run the first ball. That's all I want. That proves that he went from pure walk on to starter of a season under a new head coach and all new coaches as a walk on. And it's impressive. Dallin to me is, I am so glad. I panicked. I panicked a little bit at right before the spring game when we lost our entire running back room. But picking up Dallin, good grief, man. This coaching staff is just so amazing. The running backs that we have now with Brandon Hood and with Welch and Dallin and Isaiah and Charlie. I'm a running back guy. I grew up in the Colorado wishbone back in the 80s, the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. That was my, I was 18 when we won the national championship, right? I was, I think, was I 11 when Coach Matt came in and I started wearing my Colorado jerseys to football practice. My practice jerseys. My first team was called the Panthers, and we were black and gold. And so I got to wear my Colorado jerseys in practice. And I was so happy. I still have one of them in the closet. I'll wear it next time so you guys can see it, but it's all sewn up. I put holes in it over I think 4 seasons that I played in that jersey. But I don't even know where I was going with that. Wishbone. I was a running back for a long time, and I was a wide receiver, and I was, oddly enough, if you guys ever meet me, you're going to laugh about this, but I was a defensive end for 3 seasons, and a starting defensive end for that matter too. But I was a big kid, but I didn't turn out to be a very big adult, if that makes sense. In any case, it was a lot of fun. And so I've always been a running back guy. I've always been a running offense guy. Darian Hagan is my Colorado Buffalo hero, running quarterback that could take hits like he did and be able to manage the football like he did and be able to take a team from a lot of pain to a lot of joy. He did a lot of stuff for us. But anyway, so running is my thing. And if we can establish a run game, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to stop there. So now let's go to defense. So I'm going to pull up defense right now and show you the comments that we had for the defense. Let me pull this up real quick. All right. Defense. Get out of here. You guys are going to see my analytics just for a minute. The dirty work that goes behind YouTube. You guys get to see that. And then we're going to go here. All right, let's go to comments. All right, so now we're talking about the CU defense against the NDSU offense. We talked about the NDSU offense being dangerous, and they're dangerous because we haven't met a lot of teams that run like they do. And when you have quarterbacks that can run, especially when you have 2 quarterbacks that can run, totally different from one another, it makes it like really, really hard to game plan, right? So Daryl says, run a 4-3 defense, because we were asking what defense would you run against NDSU. Run a 4-3. Replace the 5th DB with a 3rd linebacker. Put Nakai basically in there with Trevor. And then, especially depending on what NDSU does, it allows you to covertly use 2 different D scheme in the field simultaneously. So Daryl gets into some pretty heavy weeds there, but essentially bringing in Nakai with Trevor and possibly even having 3 linebackers is going to be a really strong defense for a run game. T. Chala, which is James Bond in the chat, guys, says, so glad you're in the mix. Let's see. So Buffalo Bill, also a big time subscriber to the channel. Probably the original OG to this channel, and also an original OG to CU football. He has been a CU football fan and a grad. He's got a brick on the brick walk out there outside of Folsom. We showed that in a video last year. Very very astute CU alum that we need to listen to. And he says NDSU will test the run to see if it works and then mix up the throws. They'll stay with their run game until it does not work. They'll be proud. They will pound the ball until we see what happens. So, I called NDSU and I used it's my term. I called it the program versus, and this is a joke because NDSU is calling themselves this like 15-year program that hasn't changed, and they're going to do the same thing every time, and they're successful because of it. And that Colorado is a experiment, and that the experiment's going to fail because the program's going to take over, and they're just going to keep pounding it until they find their weakness. And I want to say that's what Buffalo Bill is saying here. But he goes in to say the age difference, experience, and playing level is too large. NDSU O-line is going to get destroyed, and the QBs will be running for their lives the entire game. He said, I go a 4-3 and put pressure in the box. I'd leave the lockdown corners for the Buffs to a 1-1. And I think he went in to say something about the spy. Third question, spy the QB. You may have to do that, but the truth is the Buff line will just win this game for the Buffs. So he made a point that I was trying to make in that video, which was, do we run a spy? So a spy is, I think most of you know what a spy is, but run a player that's just going to be shadowing the quarterback. When you do that, and it's funny that, was it Livingston? I think it was Livingston that says that we're going to be playing 11 on 11. If I can remember this quote correctly, and please tell me if I'm wrong in the chat. But he said we're going to be playing 11 on 11. What that said to me was that we may be running a spy, meaning that every single person on the defense is going to be locked into somebody on the offense, which is a dangerous play because you have no backup at that point. If any one of the players blows their coverage of any one of the other players, could spell disaster for us. So it's a gamble to do that. And he didn't say he was going to do that, but when he says we're going to be playing 11 on 11, pardon me, it makes me think that we're going to be running a little bit of spy or something like that on the field. And that's just me. That could just be me being an idiot, but that's what I took out of it. Would I run a spy? I didn't mention it on the video, but I'm going to say that to start out, I would not run a spy to start out because I think that Buffalo Bill is correct. I think our defense is strong enough to where we won't necessarily need to do that. Now, on the other hand, if they're killing us with the quarterback runs, we're going to have to. I think it's the only way to block that from happening. And we have a lot of good linebackers that can do that. We have some good safeties that can do that. But honestly, I think Trevor Woods is the guy for that. He's fast. He's easy to sneak between tackles and guards. He can get through tackles, or I should say, he can get through blocks pretty easy. And he's a good form tackler. So I think that this would be a good win for us if that's what we're going to do. You guys, please put down in the comments, spy, no spy. If there was a spy, who would it be? Those kinds of things, and I'll bring those up. Let's see. Aloha Buffs. Hey, welcome, Aloha. I've not seen you in here in a while, but then again, I haven't done it live in like, I don't even want to mention how, so it's not you, Aloha, it's me. Yes, Wester is one of the best linebacks against the run. I 100% agree. We may see him too. Logic's finest says, I think Charlie O will eat up the downs for 2 to 4 yards each rush and block. Dylan, I can see getting chunk yards, rushing TDs, and complementing each other as a 1-2 punch. It's warming my heart to see people putting Charlie in the same, I'm not going to say backfield, but in the same rotation as Dallin, because I even think Charlie, if we were to put Charlie on the show today, I think he would find that high praise. Dallin is a very astute running back, and he's proven himself at one of the finest universities in the nation. And for Charlie to be put in that same context is big news. Bipolar punt, another OG subscriber. Every team has a Cinderella walk on. True, that's true. Nobody celebrates it like we do, though. If you hate Charlie, you hate Rudy. If you hate Charlie, you hate Rudy. This guy busted out. Yes. So my favorite movie of all time, actually, I've got two, is The Program and Rudy. Two football movies. If you haven't seen The Program, you got to watch it. And if you haven't seen Rudy, I don't know where you've been. But yes, Rudy. He is Rudy, kind of. But regardless, he means a lot to this university, and it's nice to see him get his due. Let's see. First in, last out, 100, 100 to get him, Charlie. Prove everyone wrong. I like it. I like it, guys. This is good. I'm expecting a balanced attack of 300 yards passing plus 250 rushing. Wow. They need to dominate and set the nation on notice. Logic's finest. Thank you for that comment. Sam Hart is a beast. Yeah, we've been there. Okay, so that's where we're at. We got another one in here. Once that run game is established, number 2 will start cooking and look and then look out. CU wins big and easily covers. Charlie over 100 yards rushing and number 2 over 400 yards passing. Wow. That's incredible, guys. I love that. So that's really cool. So back to the defense. We're going to go with stop the run, force them to pass. NDSU going to bring a big bag of trick plays. Let's see. All right, here's another one that I really like. Dollar Bills again, who brings really great comments to the comment section. If you guys aren't in the comment section of this channel, you need to jump in there. I do reply to every single comment. Regardless, it might take me a couple of days, but I'm going to get to them. It means a lot to me, and I'll learn a lot from them. Special teams, all kickoffs must be put in the back of the end zone. Punter needs to be placing the pigskin as close as he can for the end zone. So yes, I agree. Our kicking game is really important in this. We got to keep their position on the field. What am I trying to say here? I don't even know what I'm trying to say. We need to keep them back in their own area, in their own part of the field, in order to keep them from just drilling on us. If we give them short field position, it's going to be hard on us because they can grind it out. We need them to feel like they've got a long distance to go and try to get desperate on things is what I think. If I were NDSU, I would stick to my bread and butter and see if you can stop it. And I agree with that. I would go with a 4-3 defense. Now, almost everybody said 4-3 defense. Bring in an extra linebacker to help with the run and possibly spy the QB. I don't think they have anyone that can match up to our DBs. Our run defense needs to prove themselves, and this is a good start to do so. That is what almost everybody said. Stack the box, simple strategy. 4-3 defense, again, Woods is a spy. And NDSU will pound the ball and try gadget plays, which I agree. They're going to get desperate. They're going to try some stuff on us. Keep the QB and spy task D-line to put QB on notice. Come out of the pocket and get carted off. I love that. If you get out of the pocket, the other guy's going to have to pick it up because we're going to kill you. So, and it goes on and on. You guys did a great job on this. I asked for some comments and you gave me great ones. Michael Brazel says, I would run a 4-2. I think our D-line is stout enough. So we did have some 4-2 people in there, basically running our standard defense. I do think personally that we're going to give up too much yardage like that against this team, but you know, what do I know? We'll see tomorrow. But I do like the fact that we're confident about our defense. They will definitely not pass more. I agree. They know Travis Hunter's back there. The Bison will run, stop the run, stack the box. And then 4-4 Trevor Roving. What are we looking at? Oh, okay. Good. Thank you. Sorry, guys. I got some side commentary from the family there. Um, Passing, not their strength. Nobody gives Cam Miller respect. I don't know that anybody doesn't give Cam Miller respect, Bipolar. I understand what you're saying there. But Cam Miller is like, of the two quarterbacks, I think that I fear him more because of his ability to throw. Um, and that's the truth with this is that um, when you have Cole Payton in there, Cole Payton still passed last year for 60, I think it was 68% passing, which is awesome for a guy that didn't pass it very much. But when he gets the ball, he seems to just want to pound it down people's throats, and he's a big dude. It's gonna be hard to stop him. Um, but Cam Miller he's going to be an NFL quarterback. Somebody's going to pick him up. So that's what I have to say. That there's a whole lot of comments. You guys you did so good in the comments, like incredible in the comments. I wish we could make this a 6-hour live, but obviously I don't think you guys want that. Those of you on the East Coast, good Lord. Those of you who are on the East Coast, it's like 11:35. I can't even believe if there's anybody on the East Coast that you're still even tuning in. So let's go to a few other comments. Let's see. Silas, another one of the OG subscribers, says the energy of the stadium will by itself win the game. It's going to be stupid. I have a buddy that is an NDSU grad that lives here in Colorado, and he won't be at the game because he's out of town. But we have this bet that's going on there that I'm going to have to be in NDSU gear. And he's got all of his old NDSU gear from when he was in school, like a million years ago. And I've got to wear that to my business after this game is over if they win. So, but I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of NDSU fans in the stadium tomorrow. I think it's going to be primarily CU fans, and it's going to be loud. It's going to be so loud. It's going to be ridiculous. Old School says, thank you, young man. See you. Let's see. Thank you, young man. See you for your long time support there at CU. God bless, Coach. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Calvin says, you think Cam Michael will play? Yeah, I think Cam. I would want to see Cam play. I think Cam will play. I think Cam might only get one or two downs. I'm not even going to say series, just because we have so many other players that we need to get in rotation that are established players right now. I would love to see him get in there. Cam could be a revolutionary player for us. I kind of see him like middle of the season, and we're doing the same thing we did last year. We're trying to find somebody to step up and really take the reins. I see Cam doing that. I see him middle of the season somewhere. Good grief, Arizona. I'm gonna call it maybe. Getting in there and getting some substantial playing time and really setting a name for himself. I really see that from Cam. That's where I see that. Silas says 55-9, so he doubled down on me and went 55. But that's kind of where we're at. I've got one more comment here. Oh, hang on a second. Alpine Huskies has got an important update. Hang on a second. Let's see. East Campus 3:00 Fan Fest opens on East Campus. Sorry, guys, I'm a little bit stunned by this. So FanFest is usually on um, what is that? Uh, it's a field just south of Folsom. It is anyway. It's normally right there near Folsom, but it's good. FanFest is going to be on East Campus. Now, East Campus is a walk, so you have to go off campus essentially and walk about 10 minutes down to East Campus. Not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm not going to East Campus for the FanFest. So I'm not going down there. I wonder why. That sounds very odd. The Buff Walk is at 4 o'clock, so we said the Buff Walk is going to be between 4 and 4:30. So that's right. I'm assuming the Buff Walk is going to be on Franklin Field, which is directly to the east of Folsom. So that should be normal. Folsom Field gates open at 5:50. National Anthem at 6. Ralphie runs at 6:05. And we will have Ralphie running, even though ESPN will have Ralphie running. So thank you. Thank you very much, Alpine Huskies. You sound like a very astute Buffs fan. And then, oh, wow. Aloha Buffs. What? What are you doing? What are you doing? Sorry, guys. Hang on a second. I got to try to. Huh? What am I saying? All right, hang on a second. I got to update again. Sorry, guys. This is getting out of control. It says East Campus 3 o'clock FanFest opens, or East Campus 3 o'clock. What's on East Campus? Shuttle service. Oh, okay, guys. All right, guys. Sorry. So it was shuttle service starts on East Campus at 3 o'clock. So that's why I was. This comment was obviously errant. But if you're parking on East Campus, the shuttle service starts at 3 to get you back to main campus. FanFest opens at 3:45. It's going to be on the same field it always is, which is directly to the south of Folsom Field. And then the Buff Walk's going to be at 4 o'clock on Franklin. So everything is exactly like it should be. And Alpine is just getting a little bit crazy at this late hour. So let's so thank you for that. Nobody go to East Campus. Nobody go to East Campus for FanFest. All right. Thank you very much, Alpine Huskies. Let's see. Let's get over here to Aloha Buffs had a $20 super chat. Thank you very much, Aloha Buffs. You've been a big fan, or I should say a big viewer for a long time, and I appreciate it. Buying you a beer for the game, enjoy, and $20 will buy literally one Coors Light right here. It'll buy one. It's a big one, but it's one. I hope you make it to. Hope you make it to Boulder one day to watch my Buffs. I did get to see them play last year at UCLA and got a picture with Darian Hagan. Yes, before Darian Hagan left to go to sunny Southern California. I miss that dude a lot, and I wish them success this year at San Diego State University. He's a running backs coach there, and he was a running backs coach for us as well in the past for a decade and a half, really. So that's awesome. Aloha Buffs. Thank you very much for that super chat. I will 100% buy a beer tomorrow, and I will make sure I mention you as the proprietor of that beer for me so that I can enjoy it. So anyway, that's it, guys. I'm going to let you guys go. It is getting really late. And tomorrow, look for the lives that we have going on tomorrow, probably starting in the mid-afternoon, 3-4 o'clock. Definitely for the Buffs walk, so you can see the Buffs going into the practice field. A lot of times they're in suits, looking really dapper. It's going to be really nice. And then we'll do some more lives. I'll show you the tailgate scene around Franklin Field, which is really like the epic part of the program. We'll do maybe walking into Folsom, where we're sitting in Folsom, kind of pregame activities. We'll watch Rafi run. We'll probably do a quick halftime wrap up, and then we'll do a post game at the field. And that's if I can remember to do all of that stuff, guys. I'll be honest with you. If I can just set aside being a fan and actually know that I have obligations to you guys as my buddies out there to bring you some live footage, I will do that. I promise you. That is a wrap from Alpine Garage Sports. Thank you very much for hanging out with us today. And man, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. I will see you tomorrow out at Folsom Field.